Greetings, you Mist Breath Elders. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham, and this is the Crack-a-Pack on LRRMTG, where it's another Bloomburrow special, and I'm joined by Nelson.
Eldest of the Mist Breath Elders.
Yeah, and we're opening another collector booster of Bloomburrow. So here you go. Let's see what we end up with in here.
It's a nice thick wrapper. Let's see if I can get it open.
They are
using my teeth.
They're intense.
The squirrels would definitely just chew through it. Okay. Opposable thumbs winning out once again.
Yep.
Let's start off with Seed Pod Squire.
Ooh.
3 Azorius, just one white-blue hybrid for a 3/3 flying bird scout with whenever Seed Pod Squire attacks, target creature you control without flying gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So interesting, sort of like birds wanna hang out with other non-birds. Kind of synergy or vibe. I think there's only one of each hybrid common in the set, kind of like a sort of mini signpost.
Cool. Signpost commons.
Signpost commons, exactly.
The power level's increasing daily.
Hybrid. So yeah, I mean, watch out for this one in the like green-white or blue-white decks where you pump your Trampler or whatever. Next up, we've got Waxwane Witness. 3 into white for a 2/4 Bat Cleric with flying and vigilance, and whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, Waxwane Witness gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay, and it doesn't say this only triggers once per turn. So if you have some kind of free way to like pay life to gain a life, you know, if you can put together some sort of Rube Goldberg life twiddling machine, you can infinite power your flying vigilance creature.
It's just if you gain or lose life during your turn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. Neat.
I mean, 2/4 flying vigilance, not terrible for draft.
There's some kind of thing.
4 mana.
There's like, what is it? Like fast bond and like there's a thing where when you play a land, you gain a life.
Jaddy Offshoot and the Courser of Crufix. Yeah. If you do that, you also have infinite mana in that one probably, but yeah.
Future Highlander All-Star is what I'm saying.
I mean, it'll win the game.
Yeah.
This is Sazakap's Brew.
Is it?
Yes. A beautiful picture by Sam Gay. Thank you so much. 1 and a red for an instant with Gift a Tapped Fish. Those are some words on a Magic the Gathering card right there. So you may promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. If you do, they create a tapped 1/1 blue fish creature token before its other effects. I love that you can promise it. It's like, so what kind of person is your opponent? Can they be trusted?
Yeah.
Will they really give you the fish? No, it's you. You'll know that you'll get the fish if you don't counter the spell.
Yeah.
All right, but also as an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card, and its target player draws 2 cards. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So, pretty interesting kind of development of the Tormenting Voice series, right? It's discard a card to draw 2, but it's also target player draws 2 in case, like,
you mill them out.
I don't know, if you like got this in a cube alongside your Sheoldred or something, then maybe you kill them with that or whatever. Or you're playing multiplayer and you just want your two-headed giant partner to draw the cards instead.
It's got to be a very particular use case where you want to give your opponent a creature, even if it is a 1/1.
Yeah, some of the gift cards I've seen so far in previous season have been like, oh yeah, you're generally going to let them have a card to pull this move off, and then others have been like, well, wait, they just get another creature, so you can get another creature? That seems kind of sketchy, or if it's just making tokens, or this one's only +2 power until end of turn versus an entire body.
I got to say though, top 5, like, not flavor text, top 5 mechanical rules text now contains Gift a Tapped Fish.
Gift a Tapped Fish is just, that's it, probably a CK button right there, right? High Stride is a 1 mana spell, our first of the pack so far. Just 1 green mana for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it.
Great.
Yep.
Cool. Good to know that'll be...
Watch out. For 1 green mana, they can untap their creature and give it reach.
Okay.
Yeah. Uncharted Haven is a land that says this enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color and add 1 mana of the chosen color.
Great. Love it.
I don't know if we've had this exact card before. It's always like this taps for the color you chose, and it also taps for white or whatever, like the Thriving.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have the second color, but that's
I
okay.
think there's been
fixes your mana.
something. Yeah, I think there's something with a different name that's either exactly this or very close to this, but this is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have this.
Generic fixing.
Yeah.
It's a tap land for whatever color you need. Hazel's Nocturne, another 4-drop, 3 and a black for an instant with return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Oh, this is super interesting.
Heck yeah.
So the double raise dead cards have been around for a long time, and mostly what we've seen with them in the design is playing around with it's cheaper if blank.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can get this for only 1 or 2 mana.
Or you get
condition was met.
1 of any creature and 1 pirate.
Right, yeah. Or Urborg Repossession from Dominaria was a really good one where you get a non-land permanent or any card or whatever, and then the other one's a creature. But this one gives you 1 Tendrils of Agony trigger.
Yeah, it's 2 creatures. It's instant.
It's an instant,
Dang,
which is pretty big, which means you can leave up your murder or whatever, but then instead you can just have your 2 cards back.
Big fan.
Spellgyre, another 4-drop, 2 and blue for an instant with choose 1. Counter target spell or surveil 2, then draw 2 cards.
Cool.
I like that. Yeah.
Love to have options.
Yep.
Nice.
Blooming Blast is 1 and a red. Yeah, you got to look at this art. Is it a squirrel or a mouse? This mouse has weaponized this flower.
There's a nature documentary with it's like some kind of weird cucumber or something. There's some kind of thing that like the seed pod pops open and it just fires the seeds out, just like boom, 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 boom. And that's, I guess, what's happening here.
Yeah, either it's using just some sort of like pent up stored energy from the way the plant grows, or there's like a chemical reaction happening at a certain time, and then it just pops out. Anyways, this is an instant for 1 in a red that says gift a treasure.
Okay.
Now, it wouldn't come in tapped, right? Because they would otherwise would say a tapped treasure.
Correct.
I like that they were like tapped fish. And it says this deals 2 damage to target creature. If the gift was promised, it also deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Searing Blaze. Wow.
I love Searing Blaze.
Okay.
Do I love it enough to give my opponent a treasure? We'll find out.
I mean, probably if you can set up lethal, it's worth letting them have them around it. Okay, so big Goblin Electromancer fan. So I have feelings about this card. It's Stormcatch Mentor. Blue-red for a 1/1 Otter Wizard with haste and prowess, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So on the one hand, very stoked to see this card get printed. This card is very impressive, very up my alley, but also a little sad that it's like, well, not a lot of opportunities to play Goblin Electromancer anymore.
Goblin more relevant than Otter,
There's that.
but everything else is just dusted the fool. Like
usually it's the spells in the deck that matter and not the travel synergy. Okay, beautiful full art planes.
Very cool.
Bloomburrow not failing in the tradition of every Magic set has the best art for basic lands you've ever seen.
Yep.
Right? That just keeps happening. Zoraline Cosmos Caller. 1 white-black for a 3/3 legendary bat cleric with flying, vigilance, and whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. And whenever Zoraline enters or attacks, you may pay black, white, and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. And it doesn't explain, but finality counter means if it would leave the battlefield, it goes to exile.
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
Maybe it's when it dies. I think it's when it leaves the battlefield.
I think so too.
Yeah. So, this is a legendary 2-color bat cleric. Doing the things that the bats do in Bloomburrow, I think.
All the bats look so happy.
But I mean, a lot of stats on this card. 3/3 flying for 3 with vigilance.
Yeah.
And then no matter what, if you can attack with it, you get like an extra life swing.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if you have the spare mana lying around, it's like a little mini Sun Titan. You got to pay 2 life and some mana.
And when
You get like a Sun Titan trigger.
when this attacks, you get 2 different triggers for Waxwing Witness because you gain and pay life.
That's right. Yeah, Waxwing Witness and Zoraline, best friends. Good callback.
Yeah. And it's a bat, so actually you gain. That's 3 instances.
Right. Oh, right, because each bat, whenever a bat, not just whenever you attack with 1 or more bats.
We've cracked
each
this
bat makes you gain a life if you have Zoraline.
Crack this whole thing wide open.
Okay, we found the best name for a card in the pack so far. It's Tempt with Bunnies. Isn't that incredible? Congrats, Bloomburrow team. You printed Tempt with Bunnies. 2 and a white for a sorcery that has Tempting Offer. Draw a card and create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. Then, each opponent may draw a card and create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. For each opponent who does, you draw a card and you create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token.
That'll be from the Commander decks, I assume.
Yes, it's got the Commander set. And also,
Cool.
it's fleshing out the Tempting Offer cycle that we had in like Commander 2016 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, like a long time ago. The Tempt with Vengeance cycle.
I like the Tempting Offer cycle. Tempt with Bunnies is peak.
I've also got a Portent of Calamity, blue and X for a sorcery that says reveal the top X cards of your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them. So for each of the 9 card types, right? Put the rest into your graveyard. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost if you exiled 4 or more cards this way. Then put the rest of the exiled cards in your hand. Okay, so first time seeing this card. There's a lot going on. For 5 mana, you could look at the top 4, and if they're all a different type, you get to cast one for free.
The best way that you whiff is if you only exile 3 types, and then you still put those 3 in your hand and a bunch of stuff in your bin.
Right. But you could have like 4 lands on top, or however much mana you spend. If it's only lands, then you just get 1 card. So like the hardest way to whiff is if you put tons of mana in it and then you only see like 2 or 3 types of cards. So it really wants to be in the deck with that can pump the Tarmogoyf up the whole way.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know.
That card's... I look forward to seeing someone do a thing with that.
I feel like it's like the absolute worst case scenario is like 2 mana draw a card. So it can be like a thing you do in the early game. Like if you're just like trying to dig through your deck to set up your lands in the beginning of the game, you can be like, okay, first turn surveil land, second turn just cycle Portent of Calamity, make sure that I hit my land drops, and then in the later turns, like if you have another Portent of Calamity, you can be like, okay, this one's for 6 mana.
Okay.
And we're gonna try to hit like, it doesn't have to be. You can cheat on mana in this if you hit like an Atraxa or something, like an 8-drop Gristlebrand in the top. You just have to have hit 4 different card types, right?
You can arrange the top of your library.
Yeah, that's right. You could also be setting this up. Interesting card.
Yeah.
Interesting card. Chatterfang, Squirrel General from outside of Bloomburrow, getting it's not in the special guest list. It's from the Commander set, but
nice.
Special guest, unless it turns out that Chatterfang is actually from Bloomburrow. Entirely possible.
He's from the Imagine Critters set, which is usually imagining humanoid creatures as woodland people, but this is just Chatterfang.
He's on the same line as the planeswalkers that get to be,
cool. All right.
Qualified.
Chatterfang continues to do the things that Chatterfang has done before.
Yeah, happy to see you, Chatterfang.
Yeah.
And lastly, Season of the Bold. 3 red for a sorcery that says choose up to 5 paw prints worth of modes.
Little paws.
You may choose the same mode more than once. For 1 paw, create a tapped treasure token. For 2 paws, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play them.
Sure.
And for 3 paws, until the end of your next turn, whenever you cast a spell, this deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. Oh, wild. Okay. The end of your next turn. So kind of like a damaging Showdown of the Scalds sort of ability, right? Because it's like anytime you cast a spell, you get the ability, and you could have like, extra cards from the 2 paws mode along with that.
Yeah.
So it could be like a big setup where you cast this, and then the following turn you try to pop off, cast 100 spells, and deal 200 damage. I also got a 2-sided Squirrel token / Dark Star Augur token. Which is a Bat Warlock 1/1 flying with at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card in your hand.
Probably has Offspring.
Yes, it's an Offspring token. So similar to the Eternalized tokens, I imagine that WotC's giving us all of the tokens for all of the little Offspring. And honestly, that might be the coolest part of the set. It's just getting to see all of those tokens. Little bunny that's like the leader of the flock, whatever. Yeah.
Every one of them is adorable.
Yeah.
In a world where you're drafting Collector Booster, what's your first pick?
It's probably Chatterfang because it's sort of the devil I know, but I'm interested in this Zora line as well. Like I feel like if it's Bloomburrow saying this is like a pack of Bloomburrow and it's 2 more packs of Bloomburrow, not Collector Boosters necessarily, maybe Zora line is safer because certainly Zora line seems like you can make a deck that's based around that.
Yeah. Sweet.
How about you? You go with the squirrel,
I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna take the season of the bold.
You gonna try season the bold out? Okay.
I want to try little grabbies.
Excellent.
All right.
Hopefully that mentor table's for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there we go. There's a pack of Collector Booster Bloomburrow. Thank you, Nelson, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Until next time, hopefully you're continuing to enjoy the Bloomburrow PPR and all the other Bloomburrow nonsense we have for you. But until then, I have been Graham, joined by Nelson, with James on tech. Matt edits these. Heather gets them online. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.